Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Great to be here, guys.
And we're joined with two guests in studio today. We've got retired officer Michael Dikovitsky and retired officer Russ Baer. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello. Thank you.
And you know, Michael, did I say your last name correctly?
Sort of.
Dikovitsky.
Correct. Just think a drink of whiskey, and you can say Dikovitsky.
Drink of whiskey.
Dikovitsky.
Dikovitsky.
Yeah.
Okay. I have been challenged over several shows with some names, and I'm not great with names.
No. Sometimes you put S's and stuff where they don't belong. And
Thanks, America's Defenders.
Yeah.
Foundation. Yes, that one was a tough one. But Curtis, good to see you in studio.
Glad to be back, man. Glad to be back.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, you've been on break for a little bit, so I hope you've relaxed.
Yeah, got my battery charged. I'm ready to have some fun today.
All right, good. Yeah, you've had time to think about it and restore your humor. So
yeah, hopefully. I don't know about restoring, but
we'll bring your best game. Now, I do want to mention something that happened this week. In the mail, we received a letter from our friend Dante Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yes. So Dante was featured on a previous episode, and he works out at the Navarro College Police Department, or their Department of Public Safety, if you will. And he sent us a couple patches. So,
oh, thanks, Dante.
Yeah, cool, man.
Pretty patriotic, man.
We appreciate that. It's a good-looking patch.
It is a good-looking patch.
So we'll get those hung up on the patch wall. Hey, if you've got a patch and you don't see it behind us, hey, send it to us. Reach out and contact us on the website. So very good. Now let's move right along here. Michael, you're a retired officer, correct?
Correct.
And how long have you been retired?
Since 2017.
Since 2017. So I'm not going to try to do math here. Should I try to do math?
8 years.
8 years. Thanks, Curtis. You're doing great. Well rested. So how is your retirement going?
It's good. When I left law enforcement, I didn't want to completely stay untouched, so I became a police chaplain, and a chaplain with Rockwall Police Department and Department of Public Safety as a partner with them, and run a group called Texas Emergency Crisis Response, which we have 70 chaplains throughout the state of Texas, and most of them are police chaplains, fire chaplains, and some veteran chaplains. And we come together like we were at Uvalde when they had multiple shootings, and we go to church shootings, and we go to other disaster sites that the state calls us to respond to. And mainly we're chaplains, but we're also, a lot of us are licensed counselors, and we deal with people that experience trauma in a deadly force situation. And we have a lot of officers that call us throughout the state that don't have a chaplain because they don't want to report to mental health to get a diagnosis that they might lose their job. Mm-hmm. And in the peer support, if you're in a department of 5 people, who do you talk to?
Yeah, exactly.
So we get a lot, and they just tell us their first name, and that's all we need to know. And over 15 years, we've took 30,000 hours of phone calls from officers across the state.
Good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, on a personal note, as a retired officer, that keeps you in the loop.
Oh, yes.
Also,
mm-hmm.
And that keeps you in the family, if you will, and allows you to use your skills to help out our brothers and sisters that are out there and out there fighting a good fight right now, and help them out.
Yes, sir.
Now, is there a rivalry between firemen and police chaplains? Like, do y'all compare mustaches or anything?
Well, yes.
I knew it.
Yes. Yes, there is.
At every level. At
every level. At least we got an honest one here. Will tell us though.
Yeah, they think we're two complete different animals. So,
well, I'm rooting for our police chaplains.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, our chaplains are better than yours.
But they do say the fireside had the light, so So who knows? I'm rooting for our guys. A little smaller mustaches, but they're good guys.
Wow. So, yeah. Okay. Moving. Okay, Curtis. Yeah. If someone is in need of services from you guys, how could they get in touch with you?
Okay. One of the ways is they could look up, like I said, the Texas Emergency Crisis Response Team on the internet, or they also the WSCnetwork.org. And the number is 469-222-8740, answer 24 hours a day. And like I said, we don't care what department you're with or your complete name. All we need is a first name or something to call you by, and we're there for you to try to help you. We have saved a lot of first responders from suicide over the year, and all the way to people under internal affairs where they feel that they're going to go to prison and they have no way out. And we talk them into there is a life after your occupation if that's what it's going to happen. But life is precious, and no matter what they've done, we don't judge. We just try to help them make the right decisions in life for them and their family.
Outstanding.
That's good. That's noble stuff, man.
And now let's go back to your tenure in law enforcement. How long were you an officer?
With Dallas Police Department, I was an officer for 11 years, and I started in 82, but in 88, I got shot with a .44 Magnum, and it took me about 2 years to completely heal. And I had a chief that said that he had a duty to protect me, so I'd be stuck in the office. So I left the department and went to work for the government agency and spent 20 years with them.
All right. So you went to the feds, left Dallas Police Department, went to the feds.
Yes, sir.
Now, Russ,
Yeah.
You're a retired officer as well. How long have you been retired?
Been retired for about 17 years now.
How's retirement going for you?
Excellent.
Highly recommend it.
Absolutely. Less stress, less worry. Working on my golf game.
Yeah. Now, see, that's a noble calling too.
Absolutely.
Working on a golf game in retirement. Now, how long were you an officer?
25 years, City of Dallas.
City of Dallas. You worked for the Dallas Police Department. Did you have any opportunities, any special positions held there in Dallas?
They had me doing about everything. They wanted me to get my teacher's license so I could teach the DARE programs in grade school, and also taught a little bit in junior high, taught at the police academy and different academies. But I did work with the FBI, Secret Service, DEA, did a lot of sting operations, Colombian drug cartel, drug deals, drug busts.
Good.
Man.
Quite a few different opportunities. And
Yeah, he was a hell of a field trainer. You left that part out.
I was a field training officer for 19 years.
that's a long time to be a training officer.
There was a lot of responsibility.
Well, and you'd mentioned some stories to me prior about your time as a training officer, and we'll get into those here in a little bit. Now, Michael, one thing that really interested me that you told me whenever you went to work for the feds is you actually got into sniper training, correct?
Yes, sir. I worked 5 years in the field, and I don't know if I can say this, but Obama took office, and things kind of changed as far as policies and investigations and who we prosecute. And my boss looked at me. He goes, "You used to be a police officer." And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Do you like shooting?" I said, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, they were sending me to one sniper school after another, to the FBI and different places, and to be a striper instructor. And I loved it so much that I ended up doing it for 15 years. And in that period, I trained 836 snipers across the U.S. and some overseas. And it was something I put my heart in, and all the snipers always had that type A personality that the first 2 days they wouldn't get along, but then by the end of the time of the training, they were best of pals and in life, small family. So I really loved it. It gave me a good feeling to go to work, and I loved what I was doing.
So I gotta ask you, if not only sniper, you're a sniper instructor, what's your longest shot?
It was 1,300 yards with a 308 caliber. It was a custom rifle made for the government, but it was similar. A lot of them had the Remington police model rifles that they trained with, and the Army makes a 308 military rifle. We went with that because it was a common round that was easy to access, and it didn't penetrate as if you went with a Lapula. And what a lot of agencies really don't let their departments shoot very far. Some don't even let them shoot over 100 yards. But we would train them to shoot up to 1,200 yards just in case, because we had military and police mixed a lot of times in the groups, from local law enforcement agencies to federal law enforcement agencies and the military. And then during Afghanistan and Iraq, we had a lot of contractors too.
Well, and see, whenever you mention the distance that you're shooting at, in Farmers Branch, my city was really long but really narrow. I don't think the city was 1,200 yards wide.
Y'all couldn't shoot past the hood.
Yeah, we didn't have enough room to practice a shot like that by any means. Very, very impressive, sir. Now, I understand that the two of you guys attended the academy together?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, y'all worked together for quite some time back in the days, huh?
Yeah, we stayed friends from the beginning, first day of the academy until present.
And as I understand it, Michael, you're not native to Texas, is that correct?
Yeah, I was reminded that I moved to Texas from, which I shouldn't say. I used to say it like this, from New York. And
I'm sorry. Wait, where was that?
Russ here, first day of class, says, "Where are you from?" And I go, "New York." And Russ said, "Do not tell anybody you're from New York." And I said, "Why is that?" He goes, "We really don't like Yankees." I said, "You got to be kidding me." He goes, "No, I'm serious. Go outside and look at all the bumper stickers that say, take, love New York, take I-30 East." And sure enough, I noticed going down LBJ and different places, Central, all these people had these bumper stickers. And I said, "Man, I can't believe that they would have a bumper sticker like that." So he trained me right, taught me how to talk slower and not tell anybody where I was from. He said, "Just say you're from Dallas and just leave it at that." And I said, "Okay."
And, going back to that, have you ever had the opportunity to make a traffic stop on a vehicle from out of state?
Yeah, a couple of years later, I was assigned to Central Patrol, and I was working downtown Dallas, and I had a partner with me that was from the Bronx, and he had a real strong Bronx accent. And as we were talking, I noticed a driver going down a street the wrong way, and he had New York plates on. And he had his big map out. He had his finger on the map, so he was trying to drive, follow this map, going down a one-way street the wrong way. And I said to Joe, I said, "We got to pull this guy over. He's from New York." So we pull him over, and I walked up to the window, and he put both windows down, and Joe was on the other side, and I was on the driver's side. And I said, "Sir," he goes, "Oh, I am so sorry, officer. Did you pull me over for the stop sign?" I said, "No, sir." He goes, "Was it the red light?" I said, "No, sir." And then he kind of looks around and he goes, "Oh man, I'm going down a one-way street the wrong way. Is that why you pulled me over?" I said, "No, sir. I pulled you over because you're from New York." And he said, "Well, what does that have to do with it?" I said, "We don't like people from New York." I said, "I'm going to have to put you in jail." And he goes, "Why would you put me in jail?" I said, "Well, you already said you went through a stop sign, a red light, and now you're going the wrong way in a one-way street. Why shouldn't I put you in jail?" All of a sudden, I saw this guy was perspiring. I mean, sweat was bubbling on his forehead. Looked like he was going to have a heart attack.
Here he's come to Texas. He's gotten lost. Now he's going to jail.
Right. And so just then, Joe looked at him like, "We better tell him that we're not going to take him to jail because this guy's going to die on us." And so Joe opens his mouth with his Bronx accent. He goes, "Welcome to Texas. We're both from New York." And he goes, "You're not taking me to jail?" I said, "No, sir."
No.
And so we showed him how to get out of the city the right way and showed him on the map and stuff. But he was so relieved. But we had such a blast just teasing this guy and knowing that we were both from New York and remembering what Russ told me about never tell anyone you're from New York.
So you go out and you stop a fellow New Yorker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like, forget about it.
It's like Bordeaux.
Can't park you.
Oh, okay. Now, Russ, you, in listening to some of your stories that you told me ahead of the show, sounds like you were kind of in the north area of Dallas quite a bit. You actually mentioned one pursuit. I think it started in Richardson that you got involved in there.
Yes. I heard a chase coming out of Richardson. It was a burglar suspect. It was a male and a female in like an orange Camaro. And I pulled off the side of the road on LBJ Freeway in an elevated position. And I was watching to see the chase come by in Dallas when it comes out of Richardson into Dallas towards the DFW airport. And about that time, I saw the Camaro coming up and down the hill. And I kept looking, and there weren't any Richardson police officers behind him. Apparently, he was driving a little faster than they were. And then when he got to me, I called in and said, element 614, suspect out of Richardson, male driving, female in passenger seat. I'm going to drop in pursuit. So I dropped down off onto LBJ, right in behind him. I could just see him just kind of jerk back like where'd I come from. And I continued to chase him into Farmer's Branch.
Nice.
For a second.
He got off LBJ onto the service road, and I was going too fast. I couldn't make the turn. And he kept going. He went back up onto the service road and plowed into a garbage truck, which he stopped immediately. And I managed to pull off the side of the road, go down to his car, and he was a little bit woozy from hitting the dash. And he had a gun laying on the floorboard in the front seat and on the front floorboard. And I got that, and then I got him out, got him handcuffed. And just a few minutes later, it rained Richardson police officers.
We're here.
Didn't have them on view, but they're still chasing them.
They were still chasing. And I had him handcuffed out of the car, and a sergeant from the Richardson Police Department came over to me and said, "What am I doing here? What are you doing here?" And I said, well, I stopped the suspect, and I have him here handcuffed.
Stopped your suspect for your guys.
Yes, and he said, "Well, there's too many cop cars here. You need to leave." And I said, "Okay." So I went over to one of the Richardson police officers and said, "Those are my handcuffs. Can you unhandcuff him?" And he gave me my handcuffs, cuffed him, and one of the other officers got the girl out of the front seat. And then I said, "Here's the gun." I took the gun out of my back and I gave it to the officer. I said he was carrying a gun. I found it on the floorboard in the front seat. And I gave that to him. And I proceeded to leave. And a few minutes later, my dispatcher, Dallas dispatcher, said, "Didn't you observe him having a wreck?" I said, "Yes, I did." "Did you have him in custody?" I said, "Yes, I did." And the dispatcher said, "Why did you leave?" And I said, "A sergeant from the Richardson Police Department said I need to leave." So I left, which I enjoyed because I didn't have to do any paperwork.
Absolutely.
And didn't have to do the wreck or anything. So that was nice not to have to do an hour and a half worth of paperwork.
Yeah, nice. Here's your bad guy. Here's the person that was with him. Here's the gun. And y'all have a good evening. I'm headed to lunch.
I really thought he was going to say it was the wrong car at first. He's like, oh, no. Ours was bright orange.
This is Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. Check us out online at offbeatcopshow.com.
Let's talk to Daniel Cook now from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. 833-COOK-DFW is the phone number. The website is cookdfw.com. How are you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing fantastic, Steve. I am ready for the luck of the Irish.
I'm just ready for any luck myself.
Well, luck is available anytime you look for it. You just got to go out and find it.
Well, you got to look in the right place. Maybe that's what my problem is. I'm looking in all the wrong places.
I let the clover grow in my flower beds on purpose.
Now, springtime is upon us, and of course, so is the rainy season. Daniel, can you tell us what homeowners should be aware of as it starts raining more often?
Well, this is a very important subject, and a lot of homeowners are definitely not aware of how much damage water around your foundation can cause. And so majority of your homes around here have gutters, but there are a lot of homes that were built without gutter systems. And when you allow rain and water just to, airlessly drop around your foundation and not be able to run away from it, then that causes some foundation issues over time. And with our soil, with all the obstacles that we have here in Texas with the dry summers, your water and your soil erosion are very critical to try to keep your soil balanced around your foundation. And so drainage with all these rains and making sure that the water is pitched away from your foundation, making sure you get it away, how your landscaping is set up around your house, all of those play a really important role. And so I always strongly advise clients, make sure you look at your gutter systems as they age. Are they getting cleaned out? Do you have debris in them? Are they clogged up? Are the downspouts still functioning? Do you have all the gutters around your house that you need? Do you have additional drainage, in your yard to get rid of that water? And so those are all the items that we look at. If you're on our annual, home evaluation, when we come out, we look at all those things and we advise you when we see those things. So hopefully you can get ahead of the curve from any kind of major foundation issue. So we care about your house so much. We don't want to be just your roofer. We want to be there for you and teach you everything that you need to know about being a homeowner.
And that's it. I mean, a home is so much more than just a roof. You keep up your maintenance on your home, it'll cost you less money down the road, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, it's an investment. Home ownership is expensive. There are a lot of things that you need to know, but hey, it's a huge investment and it will take care of you in the long run. So, that's one thing I don't try to get lucky with. I want to make my luck solid on my home.
Yeah. All right. Give Daniel a call at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration for any of those roofing, remodeling, or restoration needs. The number is 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask about their free first responder upgrade.
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Good to be here.
And we're joined by two guests in studio. We've got retired officer Michael Dikovitsky and retired officer Russ Baer. Now, this segment is sponsored by our good friends at Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. Now, Russ, I do want to mention you brought a book with you today, and it is a book that you wrote after you retired, correct?
Correct.
And here's a book. If you're watching on YouTube, check it out. The title of the book is The Torn Blue, 25 Years of Working the Streets. Now,
Wow.
Russ, what's the book about? Other than 25 years of working the streets.
I think the cover kind of said it, Steve.
What else included? Tell us about your book.
Well, it's 78 true stories.
Mostly
And-
true. Mostly true or true?
True stories.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
True stories.
Not fish stories.
No.
True stories.
It's just various stories of things that going on calls and answering calls and meeting people and handling situations and I did a lot of Christmas work with the kids and orphanages and Children's Medical Center, Parkland Hospital, and it was a pleasure doing stuff like that for the city of Dallas. So many people don't understand all the things that police officers do for their community. And a lot of that is done with their own money and their own time. And I wanted people that purchase my book and read my book to see all the various good things that we do. And it was a treasure doing this for the city of Dallas, bringing more light to what we do. We don't just always put people in jail or get into fights. We do a lot of public service work.
Good deal.
Absolutely. There's a lot of service to the community out there other than just writing tickets and taking people to jail.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot more to it. Now, Russ, if someone wanted to get your book, how could they find it?
It's on Amazon and Kindle.
And they just need to search for The Torn Blue by Russ Baer, correct?
Yes, and it should pop up. It's in a nonfiction. It's true stories.
Now, one thing I noticed about it that you went to Ground Zero and helped out, correct?
Yes, I did. I'm a native Texan, never been to New York, and I was in my squad car working by myself that particular morning, and I heard it on the radio, and I pulled into a Blockbuster video, knocked on the window, went in, and I saw the second plane hit the Twin Towers. I called a friend of mine up. He is from New York, Mitch Goldmans, good man. And I told Mitch to turn his TV on because he had 3 children still living in New York. And he turned the TV on, and then I immediately made a few phone calls. I wanted to represent the city of Dallas at Ground Zero. And it had to go through the chain of command, but I was chosen with one other police officer, a homicide detective, Thompson, right? And they let Mitch go. Mitch is a reserve police officer, and he worked with me for a long time. So we were chosen to go to New York, and we worked Ground Zero for 4 days, sifting through ash, looking for bone marrow to do DNA testing on. And it was a complete honor to represent the city of Dallas, all the wonderful firemen and police officers that I met. It was very heart-wrenching, but it's an experience that I'll treasure forever.
And again, you got that story in your book.
Yes, and I have some pictures that I was allowed to take my own pictures at Ground Zero.
Now,
And
Have you had a chance to go back and see it since it's been different, I guess?
no, I never went back to New York. That was my only time to go to New York.
so and on the lighter side of things, but Michael, how did this make you feel? Because he told you not to tell anybody you're from New York when you came to Texas, but yeah, he's in Texas going to New York.
I thought it must have really meant something for him to go to New York. He said before that he would never go to New York. And I was really honored that he did go and represent us with the other officers and go to New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I still make Blockbuster too.
yeah. You did mention Blockbuster, so
And there aren't any more Blockbusters, I don't think, anymore.
No, there's still one. There's still one. So
there's one.
there's still one left. There's a documentary on it.
How about that?
Had no idea. Now, Michael, you were a sniper instructor for how many years?
15.
And so being a 15-year sniper instructor, pretty good shot, right?
Yes, sir.
You're pretty humble about that. I'm guessing you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, to be a sniper, you got to have lots of patience. When I told some of the people that I was instructing to put a pair of a diaper, an adult diaper, in their backpack, they would laugh at me. But over the years, I'll get calls back, and he says, "Man, it's miserable to be in somewhere in the desert, 100 degrees, and you have to wet your pants and stay in that and get rash." He goes, "I have 2, 3, 4 diapers in my backpack."
Well, hey, be prepared.
It depends. You had to ask. You had to throw it out there.
That was terrible. Well, Michael, I kind of wanted to see you demonstrate your skills today here in studio. And
How big is the studio?
we're going to scale it down.
Okay.
But I've got something here. Matter of fact, Curtis, if we could get you to stand up.
Just where I'm at right now, right?
Yeah, just stand up and face this direction.
Okay.
And Michael, we're going to have to get you to stand up too.
This was not preempted or practiced. I want to let this know right now and tell my wife I love her.
Well, Curtis, you remember the disclaimer you signed years back?
The waiver?
Yeah, that waiver thing.
I didn't know that was still intact.
Yeah, no, it's still good. I checked with the attorney earlier.
We have attorneys?
All right. Curtis, we've got an apple.
This is the biggest apple you could find?
It's the only apple I could find.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Curtis, if you could place the apple on top of your head, sir, and we're going to need you to stand back this way. So for those listening, we've got Curtis here standing up, he's got an apple going on top of his head. Now, Michael, are you familiar with this weapon system here? This is made by the Nerf company. So there is no safety on it, but in order to activate it, you have to, if you grip right there, then that'll make it work. And you just have to pull the trigger. So
it even has a grip safety. How about
it does. So you might need to stand back a little bit further. And one more thing. Safety first. Curtis, if you would put on the safety goggles.
Where's my vest?
It's made by Nerf, son.
Still, I'm a little nervous here.
I feel like I'm on one of those shows that say, "Don't practice this at home."
Yeah. Well, the Nerf guns. Feel free to do it at home. However, I'm going to get out of the way. So, Michael, can you make it right through there?
Yeah, I can take that small shot.
Take that small shot.
Try my best here.
Okay, Michael, go ahead and get your aim there. And no, we're aiming for the apple, sir. We're aiming for the apple. All right.
This is the moneymaker. Low and to the left, sir. Low and to the left.
Hey, all right. You know what? This was kind of fun. Hang on. We don't need an apple, Curtis, but I want to take a shot.
What did I do to you? Oh.
All right. All right. Curtis, you're a good man.
A good target, maybe.
Well, I ain't a good man also.
No hard feelings, Curtis.
Oh, none taken.
Well, I like the technique you used there, Michael. You didn't hit the apple. You hit him on the face, and that made the apple. That made the apple.
Yeah,
fall.
it had the same result.
I just did what I was trained to do.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Aiming for center mass.
All
Center
right.
mass.
All right. Yeah, center mass. Russ, you were a training officer, you said, for 19 years, correct?
Yes.
You told me one thing that you like to do. You like to look at homes for sale, like open houses and stuff. And I understand you have a story about one time when you took a rookie with you to look at homes.
Yes. I had a rookie with me who was related to the Clintons. And we found a house, 2-story house, lovely, for sale, open. So we got out. I went inside the house and I started looking around. Beautiful home. I noticed it upstairs. I walked upstairs, walked out onto a patio that overlooked a pool, swimming pool, nice pool. And my rookie finally found me, came up, and I was on the patio, and he shut the glass door, which locked us out onto the patio.
So he's on the patio with you.
Yes, he is.
This is on duty, right?
Yes, this is on duty, and we have our walkie-talkies. Sure. We have our walkie-talkies with us. Now I'm trying to figure out what happens if we get a call. What am I going to do? How are we going to do it? So my rookie looks out, and he sees that he can get out onto the roof. And he said, well, let me just take my Sam Brand off, my shoes off, and I'll crawl out on the roof, and I'll jump into the swimming pool, and then I'll come back in the house and let us out, and we can go back to the station, and I can change clothes. And I thought to myself, here's a rookie wants to jump off a roof into a pool who's related to the Clintons. And I said, no way. He hurts himself. I'm done. My career is over. And about that time, I hear a man coming up to look at the house with his wife, and I'm knocking on the glass door, and he hears me, and he walks upstairs, and he's smiling, and he looks at two police officers in uniform, and he goes, I thought y'all were supposed to rescue us. And I'm laughing, and he unlocks the door and lets us out. It was unusual story. I'm glad we didn't get a call at that time.
Well, I'm glad the guy inside the house that saw you out there didn't just kind of wave to you and hi.
Yeah. You got to give the rookie a little credit there for his forethought. Like, I can come off the roof into the pool, come back out, then we can go back and change our clothes.
You know what kind of panic that rookie had going on, though?
He's like, is this a test? Is this part of me getting my...
He was willing to risk his life to try to undo his mistake.
No, if anybody jumped in the pool, it would have been me.
Oh, yeah, because then you could say the rookie pushed you.
Right. I could sue the Clintons.
There'll be no suing. So, yeah, that, you make a bad mistake as a rookie, you'll do dang near anything to reverse that mistake.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a challenge. Not only do you have to take care of your own life, you have to watch the rookies to make sure he doesn't violate any laws or gets hurt. And for the extra $50 a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't think much has changed in regards to
no,
to
10%, man.
Yeah, you don't get compensated a lot. But you know what? You get to choose the guys that are going to one day have your back and train them. So
true. It's true.
That's the positive side to it. We talk about swimming pools, and I think Michael just fell out. Michael, have you ever served as a courtesy officer at an apartment complex?
Yeah, when I was a very young officer, Russ introduced me to an apartment complex that I became a courtesy officer at, and one of my jobs was, when I came home from work, I'd have to check the parking lot and walk around in uniform so everyone would feel safe. And then before I left for work, I'd have to do the same thing. Well, this apartment complex where I lived, there was a really attractive girl. And I always tried flirting with her, get her attention, and she would have nothing to do with me, wouldn't even wave or anything. So one night, I'm getting ready to go to work at late nights. It's like midnight outside, and it's January. And it's like 20 degrees, 20, 30 degrees. Everything's freezing. And I'm walking around, and I hear screams. And I said, man, my antennas went up, and I was thinking, I don't even have a radio. And I'm walking around the apartment complex where the screams are, and I look up, and there's this girl stark naked on a second-story balcony.
Same girl.
Same girl having sex. And before I know it, I am 12 foot underwater in the deep end of a pool. I look up, and my conscience, the first thing I said to myself, I'm underwater. How did I get here? So I climb out, and, of course, they were embarrassed. They took off. I get in the elevator to go change, and there was an older lady in the elevator, and she goes, officer, I didn't know it was pouring outside right now. And I said, yeah, ma'am, it sure is. And I went in, and I called the station because I was going to be late, and I told the sergeant the story, and he couldn't stop laughing. He goes, this is going to get everyone laughing at roll call. Take the night off, dry your stuff off, and I got ribbed about that for at least a year when it came to swimming pools.
But we finally know why she had nothing to do with you.
Can't swim.
Let's welcome David from Cindy Leisure Farmers Insurance Agency into the studio. Their number, 972-784-8888. It's always good to have you with us, sir. How are you today, David?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Steve?
Man, it is a wonderful day today. I'm doing outstanding. David, what kind of insurance products does your agency offer?
We offer a great question. We offer home insurance, auto insurance, business insurance, boat, travel trailer, side-by-side insurance. We're one-stop insurance for all your insurance needs.
And I have to ask this. Our friends over at the Treehouse show before brought up the topic about alien abduction insurance. Apparently there's a company out there that was offering that. Do you guys offer alien abduction insurance?
No, not as of yet, but I wouldn't rule it out with the way everything's going. So that's probably a possibility down the road.
Never say never, right?
Exactly. Never say never.
But for the rest of the insurance out there, whether it be home auto, or one of the other many products you guys offer, you offer free quotes, correct?
Absolutely. The quotes are free and they're no obligation. I mean, usually we can finish out a quote while you're on the phone. We'll email it to you. And even if you don't go with us, we'll look at your current policy with your current provider and make suggestions so you can go back to your own agent. And it's what's best for the customer, not what's best for us.
Give the team at Cindy Leisure Farmers Insurance Agency a call for any of your insurance needs. Their number is 972-784-8888. Again, that number is 972-784-8888. Ask them about their first responder discount. And we're back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. We've got two guests joining us in the studio today. We've got retired officer Michael Dikovitsky and retired officer Russ Baer. Michael, did I get your last name right that time?
Yes, sir.
Practice makes perfect on this. But
Third time's charm.
Yeah, it's been a little challenging. Now, if you have not checked out our website yet, check it out. Offbeatcopshow.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow.com. Website. You can listen to all episodes. Also on the website, up at the top, there's a link where you can click for the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation. The foundation helps out surviving family members of our fallen police officers and firefighters here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It covers 10 counties, but they provide monetary donation to those surviving family members in the event that their loved one loses their life in the line of duty. So I'd invite you to make a donation there. Also on the website, there's a contact button. If you want to send us a message, click on that button and send us happy thoughts.
Yes, always.
Yeah, happy thoughts. Also, if you're an officer and you've got a funny story that you would like to share with our listeners, you'd like to come on the show and share that story, then send us an email. It's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Also, you can watch the show on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, click that subscribe button. Help us out with that. Give us a little thumbs up also. Now, Russ, getting back over to you, something during your time in law enforcement, you mentioned to me several times you were called, you answered calls in regards to missing children.
Yes. I hate losing things, and I've always been good about finding things.
I hate losing children, Russ?
Well, I hate leaving.
I left them
just
right here.
losing car keys and stuff like that. Misplaced them, but I always find them. I was getting ready. I was headed back to the station. I was going to get off early, got to go play golf. a call came out. It was lost, like a little 6-year-old girl was missing. They had 5 or 6 elements out searching for the girl. There was a creek bottom that ran all through that area. And they even had the helicopter up, flying low, looking for her and everything. And I changed clothes, got into my car, but the house was close. And I felt really bad that, all these people are out looking for this little girl. So I drove to the location, and there was my lieutenant, my sergeant out there leaning against the squad car. And I'm in my golf attire. I get out and say hi to them. They asked, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I had to stop." And I saw the nanny. The nanny was talking to the lieutenant and the sergeant. And I went over to her and asked her, "Would you show me where the little girl's room is?" And she said, "They've already searched the house. All these officers always search the house. And she's not in the house." I said, "Would you just please show me where her room is?" So she gives me a kind of funny look, and she leads me in, shows me where the little girl's room is. And I'm looking around, just looking around. And I see a closet. I open the closet door up, and there was a big pile of dirty clothes. I took a handful of the dirty clothes and lifted it up, and there was the little girl. And she was looking up at me, and I'm just in clothes. She didn't know I was a police officer. I looked at her, I smiled, and I said, "This is a great hiding place. You stay here, they'll never find you." And I put the dirty clothes back on top of her. Went outside, saw my lieutenant and sergeant still leaning against the car talking, and I said, "The little girl's in her bedroom. She's in the closet under a pile of dirty clothes." I looked at the lieutenant, and I said, "I have just enough time to get to my tea time." I looked at him, I said, "How much does it cost to fly that helicopter around?" And I said,
A lot.
I said, "You owe me 3 or 4 hours of free time so I can go play golf again. The little girl's inside. You'll find her inside." And I got back in my car. I felt so good about finding a little girl. All these people were looking for her. And, her mother and father were scared to death. And I went and played golf.
So going back with your previous theme of the helping Richardson out on the car chase, I'm assuming in regards to this story, you didn't have to do any paperwork, right?
No paperwork. No paperwork. It's such a great feeling finding little kids. I found 3 or 4 of them over years of getting calls to help search for kids. And the kids are always somebody really close. The parents just don't find them.
Yeah.
Don't know to look there.
Yeah.
Always check the residents really, really well.
Well, the adrenaline gets pumping in the parents, and they don't think clearly. Like when we get there, we're not thinking the same way they are.
That's very true. It's very true. They walk past the kid 3 or 4 times and not notice it's under a blanket or under the couch playing with something. It's amazing what little kids can get into.
Well, it's amazing what big kids can get into also.
Yeah, we put them in jail.
Okay, guys, that's what we got for today's show. Guys, check out Russ's book, again, titled The Torn Blue, 25 Years Working the Streets by Russ Baer. Again, Russ, you can find that on Amazon and
Kindle.
Amazon and Kindle.
And if you need assistance and or you know someone else that needs assistance now, or just to have it in your list of resources in case anybody ever does, think about the Texas Emergency Crisis Response Team. Michael's a part of this group. Their contact, Michael.
Yeah, we're throughout Texas and now Florida, and the number is 469-222-8740, and it's for anybody who's in crisis that needs someone to talk to.
All right, guys. Until next time, keep it real, keep it funny, stay safe, and watch each other 6.